We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạo lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Ta Rắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya La Đề Tam Miệu Tam Mô Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom and thus come one true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Lang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa Thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 9th of July 2023. We are here in Dharma Treasury Temple to continue discussing the very first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you all for coming. We are now on currently on slide 226. Okay, we are resuming our normal schedule. Last weekend we lectured this sutra here at night. Now we're back to the normal schedule. We lecture from 12:30 to 2:30. I'm glad to see all of you. All right. Okay, let's jump right into it. Okay. Buddhas can inspire faith and understanding in being the God sovereign attain this realization.
能令众生生信解，此自在天之所得。
Okay, come on. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good job. What an active girl. How come they have so much energy, a lot more than we adults? Amazing. Commentary. So the Buddhas, this God sovereign here, sovereign refers to Zhi Cai, Chinese, means he's very comfortable, very at ease. Sovereign is not the concept that we have like we rule over others. For us, it's sovereign. A sovereign is I rule over a bunch of people, a bunch of living beings, have subjects. Sovereign here is to rule over himself, which is much more difficult than ruling over others. Okay, and so this celestial king here, he became enlightened, and he realizes that the Buddhas they can inspire faith. What they do, what Buddhas do, is will end up inspiring us to believe in the Buddha Dharma. In what is the Buddha Dharma? In goodness. And also in your limitless potential. Just like Buddhas. And understanding in living beings. So understanding here, actually, I would not translate that as understanding because it comes from jie. Jie here is understanding, but actually it also means liberation. Jie duo is liberation. So what he's referring to, the celestial king, is he's referring to being a celestial king, meaning his subjects, the heavenly beings, the gods and the goddesses, have this attachment to pleasure, to comfort. They, like some of you, are very attached to being comfortable. Yes? So he says, we have a lot going for ourselves. We're very happy. We're very well taken care of. We have tremendous blessings. We're very comfortable. And that's an attachment. So he understands. He says, to me, I think that's where he's coming from. He says, we have a lot going for ourselves. And we're not careful, we'll be stuck. So the jie here is to liberate themselves from such pettiness, seeking comfort for themselves. Of course, the liberation here comes from understanding. When you freed, how you freed? You freed by letting go of your attachments. All right? Next. The Buddha says that the nature of dharmas isn't a nature at all, and yet they are profound, vast, great, and inconceivable.
佛说法性皆无性，甚深广大不思议。
Commentary slide. See, I lost my spiritual powers. What happened to my spiritual power? Oh, thank you. It came back. Thank you. The Buddha says that the nature of dharmas isn't a nature at all. Translation, it's so American, What he's saying, what this God, next celestial king is saying is that he looks at all things in this universe, okay? And what do wise people do when look at things? When you look at things, you look at colors, you look at shape, you look at how expensive it is. You look at marks. All right? That's us. But when this enlightened being here looks at things, what does he look at? He looks at the nature of things. He looks at the core, the essence of things. All right? That's an act of wisdom. And he says, when he looks at the nature of things, he realizes that their nature is what? empty. Very good. It has no nature. The nature is empty. That's in Chinese says, 无性, no nature. For example, when we ordinary people talk about nature, we say, my nature is yang, your nature is yin, yes? Your nature is, I don't know, hot-headed. Your nature is skeptical, yes? Your nature is hard, okay? Cotton's nature is soft. Okay, they look at, so what's they're referring to. But when he says no nature is that, do not be fooled by those appearances. Actually, ultimately, okay, the nature of everything is empty. Meaning what? Everything is false. It's another word for the Buddhists. Everything is false. 一切都是假的. That's what the Chinese like to say. I went to Taiwan, that's what I learned. They keep on telling me, everything is false, everything is false. Okay? I say, yeah, right. Why do you have such nice temples then? Anyway, and yet they are profound. And so I added this, they here refers to the nature. It's not they, but it's. Okay? Their nature are profound, vast, great, and inconceivable. Okay? Profound, meaning that it's, you discover more and more and more. There's no end to your discovery. You look into the nature of all things, it's very profound. You get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, endlessly. Okay? They're also vast. They're also great, meaning that it's limitless. Okay? 广大, horizontally and big. Okay? So they're actually limitless in dimensions, and 不可思议, meaning inconceivable, more than you can imagine. Your wildest imagination comes not even close. Okay, there's no way for you to conceive of it. 230, thus he inspires pure faith in sentient beings everywhere. Celestial King, blazing light, understands this well.
普使众生生净性，光焰天王能善了。
Okay, and so the Buddha then can inspire, can make living beings bring forth pure faith. What is pure faith, and how does he inspire it? Don't think that only Buddhas do this. We must do this to ourselves in our own ways, in our small realms. In the world, we call it leadership. Yes? As part of being a leader, to inspire faith. But here we're talking about pure faith. What is pure faith? And how can you inspire pure faith? Yes, one.
You want me to?
Master, I think pure faith is pure based on the calculated mind, and
Not based on the thinking mind?
calculated mind.
Calculating mind, thinking mind, same thing. Okay? It's not based on the thinking mind. So how is it not based on the thinking mind? You don't understand, how can you possibly have faith?
Yeah, maybe by observing the master or the teacher or the leaders, and they set a good example of that, and it just
By observing, you inspire faith. What if you can't observe? What if you're blind? What if you're deaf? Does it mean they cannot be inspired to have faith? So you're leaving out a class of living beings that you're neglecting. Yes, in the back, 6.
Yeah, but I think at the very most basic level, faith is inspired a lot of times. A lot of time, faith is inspired by helping people. So usually, if you help someone meet their basic needs, provide food or clothing or spiritual practice when they're having mental issues, or joy when they're feeling down. And once they see...
Mommy, it's you here.
Wait.
That's you. Very technology savvy already. Wow. Hey, it's up here too. Hey. Wow. So fast. Yeah. Okay.
So once people see that you're able to help them with their needs, then eventually you can continue to guide them further.
I see. Very good. Anyone else? I think there's Wei Mountain who wants to say something. Go ahead, Wei Mountain. Who else? Victorina's sister. The specialist in faith. Praise the Lord.
That, let's say, for an example, I request a plaque for my family, a family member, and I see that that member's getting help, and they're improving, and that increases my faith.
Okay. 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 Pure faith here is the absence of any thought of doubt. That's to be precise. Okay? Faith, when it's pure, meaning it's devoid of even the slightest bit of doubt. Do we agree on that? So if the examples you gave me is that, okay, so you receive help, you get, let's say you pray to the Lord and the Lord gave you the super lotto, make you a super lotto winner, so you believe. Yes? So far so good? That's faith. Yes? But how long is your belief? One lifetime? Next lifetime you're born and say, what God? I believe in Allah. See? And so, my point here is pure faith is that the absence of doubt. Okay, and Buddhas understand it, and they said, I may inspire you to have faith right now. The sister will believe right now until she switches to Buddhism Then the sister says, no, I believe in Buddha. I don't believe in God anymore. Okay? She can have pure faith until she switches. That's possible, right? And so when he talks about inspired pure faith, is that for many, many lifetimes, meaning it's a lot of work, folks. Inspired pure faith, they need to reinforce it for them, lifetime after lifetime, until they have wisdom. Make sense or not? It's work. It's not like I inspire pure faith and I'm done. I can rest my laurels. All right? It needs reinforcement. All right. Celestial King Blazing Light understands this. So this guy has very bright lights of wisdom. That's how he can understand this pure faith thing here. All right, next. The thus come ones are the 3 times perfect meritorious virtues that transform the realms of sense and beings in incredible ways.
三世如来功德满，化众生界不思议。
Okay, commentary. Slide. Thank you. So Buddhas of the 3 periods of time, they refer to in Buddhism the concept of time, where when they talk about time for people who have wisdom, is 3 periods of time, meaning that it's continuum of past, present, and the future. Okay, you have wisdom, that's your life, that's your time span. You have no wisdom, that's why all you can think of is this lifetime. Make sense? Okay? So, the Buddhas of 3 periods of time, Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the present, Buddhas in the future, okay? They are replete with merit and virtue. That's what differentiates Buddhas from us. They are full of merit and virtue, meaning that before they become Buddhas, they accrued countless merit and virtues. What are we referring to? Countless merit and virtues of Buddhas is that there's nothing meritorious they are not willing to do. What about virtues? Virtue meaning is no what? What is virtue again? Chinese people, you should know that. I mean, this comes from Chinese teachings, Asian teachings, if you will. What is virtue? What? You have to think? You've been learning Buddhism all these years, and you have to think about what is virtue? Let's give the Chinese a chance first. Yes, Chinese person. What is virtue?
Inner goodness.
Inner goodness. That's what the Chinese like to explain to themselves, of course. Thank you very much, Chinese person. Okay, YouTube comment.
Master, we have
American answer.
we have a YouTube question from Lio.
Yeah.
And but first, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our YouTube audience and everyone joining us wherever they are in the Saha world. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to help others benefit from encountering the Dharma.
Very nice. Can we do a visual effect where we put a halo on top of his head, just for the heck of it? Never mind.
Okay. Lio asks, I wonder what the difference is between blind faith and pure faith. Can Master elaborate on this? Thank you.
Good Lord, never thought of blind faith. Who has blind faith? Help me out. What is blind faith versus pure faith? Jeez, you caught me right there. Lio, don't do that to me. What is blind faith? Please help us out. Huh? Yes, 6. I think 6 has some experience in blind faith.
Yes.
See, you have to learn. These people are savvy. When I ask a trick question like this, is
yeah, but in my opinion, blind faith is faith that's undiscerning, faith that lacks critical thinking and the ability to discern.
Wait a minute. You agree with that? Faith that lacks critical thinking. She's so worldly, this lady. Critical thinking. Yeah? What's the problem with that definition? Then what is pure faith then? Has critical thinking?
I don't know what pure faith is.
You see, if you define blind faith as lacking critical thinking, does it mean that pure faith, the opposite of blind faith, is based on critical thinking?
I feel like blind faith is when you lack discernment and you place faith in, for example, an authority figure, mainly because they are an authority figure, or faith in an object or anything because you have faith in that and not necessarily because of the surrounding wisdom. And it could also be because you lack wisdom that you have blind faith.
Okay.
But now you're making me question my understanding, so I'm not sure anymore.
You're not sure anymore. Okay, anyone helps out? Wei Mao.
An example of blind faith would be jumping out of an airplane, hoping the parachute will open.
Okay. You've done it before, it sounds like. Or never?
Never.
Never. Okay, so he has no blind faith. No faith, actually, not just blind. He has no faith in anyone, anything. Ain't it right, sir? He has to think. Don't have to answer that. Yes, Wei Mao. Okay, let's move to Go Forest. Little Galilean, yes. Yeah, what is blind faith?
Would you like me to answer now, Master, or wait for Gold Forest?
Go ahead, we answer blind faith, and then we go to Go Forest.
Thank you, Master. I think the question itself might be a little difficult, discerning between blind and pure. To Chui's point, though, I don't feel that faith involves thinking. Faith comes from a different place, doesn't come from your mind, it comes from your heart. And when I've had blind faith in something in the past, it's usually based on established trust, like the saying, I will follow this person into the dark, is blind faith. But usually that comes from a place of having extreme trust in that person over time, and then saying, I know I'm going to follow that person wherever they lead.
Then what is the difference? Go back to the original question. What is the difference between blind faith and pure faith? No difference then. In that case, is that what you're saying?
I think the question itself is a little difficult because the difference between blind and pure could be, I don't know. I just know what blind faith is for me.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, go for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Master. So last time I remember in your Dharma talk, you say, faith
I hate it when they quote me to answer me. I really hate it.
So faith is free of talk. So if you have the pure or blind faith, which means you still have the discrimination, so it's not faith at all. I don't know if this is the right answer or not, but faith is free of talk, so no blind or no pure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Wei Mao.
Is that me? I wonder if the distinction is due to who is saying it. Because, I think about those people who followed Jim Jones in that very obscure, small religious sect, and they all believed him, and they all drank the Kool-Aid, and they all committed suicide.
That's blind faith. Yes?
To me, on the outside, I think that's blind faith. But I wasn't one of those people.
How is it different from pure faith?
Well, that's what I mean. I wasn't one of those people. I was not. And maybe some people really felt that was truly how they felt, and they were going to do it.
Okay.
Because he offered them some kind of spiritual, we'll get to heaven or whatever it was. I don't remember now.
But they never doubted it. Shouldn't that also be pure faith? Huh? Why do you have to classify as ours pure and theirs blind? Because they have no doubt. They have no thoughts of doubts either. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I wonder if it goes down to who the teacher is and what wisdom or virtue or purity of heart they have. And that's what it comes down to. Because when I hear the word blind faith, there's almost like a lack of having that depth of just blind leading blind, whereas with pure faith, there is more virtue involved.
Okay, very good. Next, 3.
I think the blind faith is something you don't know where you're going, you just believe in it. And the pure faith is you know where you are going and you truly know it, so you believe in it.
Okay, very good. Yes, 2.
I think blind faith and pure faith can be similar in a way that people mention that it feels blind when you don't think or don't apply critical thinking. I think a big difference between them is that if you have blessings, then your faith is more likely to be blind, pure faith.
Pure, but not blind? You still
it's blind
discriminating
too.
Against pure.
It can be blind.
Really, you
too.
have known enough blessings.
But the blind faith is not necessarily a bad thing. When I think if you have enough blessings.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Next. That's very good. You see, now we are less discriminatory. Okay. Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master.
Excellent.
Diego Alfonso says, Amitofuo, Master, I think both are the same, hence the need of a good knowing advisor.
Okay, very good. Yes, JC.
안녕하세요. 맹목적인 믿음은 자기가 원하는 것을 위해서 앞뒤를 가리지 않고 다른 사람에게 해가 되는지 해가 되지 않는지 그런 거 살피지 않고 내가 원하는 것을 위해서 안전하게 믿는 거, 무조건 믿는 거. 맑은 믿음은 일단 사회에 최소한 해가 되지 않기를 이렇게 살피는 믿음이라고 생각합니다.
It sounds correct.
Master, I believe blind faith is something that when one wants it, regardless of harming others or not, just totally believe it and fall into it. And then the other clear faith is basically carefully watching for, while believing it, carefully watching for not harming others.
So you have pure faith as long as it doesn't harm others. That's what she's saying. Confirm it for me, please. 네.
다른 사람에게 맑은 믿음의 조건 중 하나가 다른 사람에게 해를 끼치지 않아야 되는 게 자기 맑은 믿음이라고 생각합니다.
Master, I believe one of the conditions to be a pure faith is not harming others.
Okay. Not harming others. Therefore, it's pure faith. The pure faith is that, is this going to be harmful to anyone? And if that's the case, I won't believe you. Then it's processing already. Okay, then you're thinking already. You're discriminating already. Harming and non-harming. Yes? How can it be pure faith if you're discriminating? Wrong. Way Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I was thinking, so pure faith is without thought. I was thinking that blind faith might still be a thought, and it can be subject to mistakes, errors, three poisons. I think in the case of that cult and Jim Jones cult, they might have followed that, but they followed that with a thought.
Okay, very good. So what's the difference? After all this, what is the difference between blind faith and pure faith? You haven't been able to tell me what's the difference yet. You all have very sound arguments, sound perspective, but still is a problem. I'm still not sure what is the difference between blind and pure. Is it possible that they're the same? Is it possible? Yes, sir, 4. But you haven't been able to tell me what's the difference, really. What's it?
I think they're the same. Pure faith is when you like it, and blind faith is you don't like it.
This guy's so American. I like it, therefore it's pure. Good Lord, are we in trouble? Yes, YouTube.
Thank you, Master. Emily T. comments, blind faith is a belief in something even when it's unreasonable or wrong. Pure faith doesn't have a thought.
Is there yes, 3?
Master, I don't think they are totally different, the blind face and the pure face. I think as a Buddhist, even us, we started from blind face. But gradually when...
What?
Yeah.
Careful, girl.
I mean...
This is bad advertising for Buddhism. We start with blind faith.
Yeah, I mean...
we have a bunch of,
Okay, let me talking about me. Myself, I started...
Your husband is not going to be happy. And your children say, my mom is so blind. Good Lord, this is not good for mine.
I mean, they are not totally different, but they are different. Because before we build up the pure face, sometimes we also started from the blind face. But when we keep cultivating,
So when does it become from blind faith? Does it become pure faith? Okay, let's go with your scenario. If you start out blind, okay, we start in Jonestown, and then we feel better. Some of you survive, and you moved on to pure faith.
Yeah, because blind faith, actually, there's still a little bit doubt in it. Because you are blind, so how can you say it's pure? It's not pure. Because you don't see it, you don't have the evidence, you don't have the proof.
Hey, lady, when I have blind faith, I basically say, I don't care.
But later on, when you become more and more sure about where you are going and what you are doing.
You're thinking too much.
It's
as usual.
It becomes the pure faith.
Okay, good discussion. Anyone else? Wow, your angles are so rich, so colorful. Yes, JC, answer. JC has the answer from the land of Korea.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, Master.
Hi, dear. How have you been?
I've been okay. So I feel the blind faith and the pure faith, the difference between them are the teacher. If the teacher imposes the will to them and they have their own self-interest, then it becomes
careful, becomes what?
A blind faith. And if teachers pure, intended, and not imposing any will and not self-interest, and then that's the pure faith.
There's really no difference from what I heard so far. It's so blind faith and pure faith, according to her, is the same. Anyone else? God, why do you have to ask such a hard question? Wei Mountain, can we keep it simple? Like we move on and not worry about blind versus pure at all? Yes.
Thank you,
That's
Master.
what happens when you allow people to ask questions. They're never satisfied. Yes, sir. 8 in Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I'm so glad the concept of how we started in Buddhism came up because I specifically remember the first time I came to Lu Mountain Temple for Saturday morning meditation, and I sat down and I saw you at the Dharma seat. What came to mind was, this will be the closest I ever get to meeting a Jedi Master this lifetime.
A Jedi Master?
So that gave me the faith to continue through all the terrible leg pains that I encountered and to kind of go through. I think blind faith would be not seeing a Jedi Master and saying, if I just sit here, one day a Jedi Master will show up. So I think that's the difference.
Okay, anyone else? Answer from JMT. They're very confident. I have an answer now. Yeah?
저희 경우는 이제 사리에 대해서 노스님께서 수행을 하면 사리가 없던 게 생기기도 하고 뭐 사리가 늘어나기도 한다라고 했을 때는 사실은 그냥 우스님이 하신 말씀이니까 그냥 무조건 맹목적으로 믿었었습니다. 처음에는. 세라님 저희가 더 해도 될까 아니면 여기까지 끊을까요? 네네.
I notice you started shaking as well. Is it the faith thing that gets you going? See that lady?
세라님 다시 한번 해주시겠어요?
It's so cool. That's the first time I noticed. Is that the first time? Wow. We're talking about blind pure faith and she goes crazy. Oh, cool. Translation, please.
Sir, I'd like to talk about blind faith.
Okay.
For example, Sharira. The old abbot told us about Sharira, that they appear, also they multiply. And because he's elder, I just believed it. And she's going to continue.
So that pure or blind?
No. 예.
That is blind.
노스님이 얘기하는 거니까 했지.
That's her example of blind or pure. Careful. Choose right.
그러니까 노스님이 말씀하시니까 맞겠지라고 했던 게 맹목적인 믿음인데 막상 이제 저희 집에서 수행을 하면서 저희 집에서 사리가 나타나고 노스님께 받았던 사리가 이제 그 사이즈가 커지는 걸 보면서 정말 사리를 믿게 됐던 게 이제 저는 청정한 믿음이라고 생각합니다. 둘 사이의 차이는 그렇습니다.
And talking about pure faith is when the old abbot gave us Sharira and brought it home. And I saw that Sharira actually appeared, and then the size grew. And then I believe it became a pure belief, pure faith. So that's the difference between blind or pure faith.
I see. Yes, sir. Number one here.
I think the blind is when your eyes are covered so that you don't see it, but you still believe in it. In that sense, I think all we have, everybody here, no offense, we all have blind faith because we are not enlightened at all. I think once we enlighten, our faith can be called pure faith, maybe.
That's what he thinks of us, blind followers.
No, that's. I mean,
that's what you just said.
I mean, probably
your wife is a blind follower.
I think so. I mean, I don't want to.
You think so?
I don't want to choose a beautiful word. Just label ourselves differently from other religion people. I think we're all same. All we have, we believe in something, but we don't really see the thing ourselves. I think that's very different from Buddhists to other religion people because we have the chance to see what Buddhas see. But for others, maybe they don't. That's why I think Buddhism is very special.
Okay, I can't argue with that. Anyone else? Very good. Way Mountain, my goodness. There's a lot of discussion here.
I'll take one more stab. I guess I was thinking like wisdom itself has gradations depending on your level, whether you're an arhat or bodhisattva or Buddha. I would think faith would also have different degrees depending on your level. So we all believe in something, but we all believe, I guess, depending on, Buddha's going to believe something different than a bodhisattva would, which would be different than me. So that's my...
Okay, very good. So, is there any real difference between blind and pure faith? So someone asked me originally, what is the difference between blind and pure faith? My answer is there any difference between blind and pure faith? Yes, sir, in the back. One.
Master, I think blind faith, like, we started...
You have to think.
It's, maybe I think pure faith got tested throughout the time.
Okay,
So,
and what about blind?
Blind faith, I think until some point it will lose the faith.
I'm sorry?
Until some time it get tested and the faith can...
So to you, is the difference between blind is a shorter duration than pure?
Yeah. The pure is got tested through the time.
So you see, so to you, is the difference between pure and blind faith. Okay? Anyone else? Yeah, this is cool. Way Mountain. Now I'm shaking too. Notice that.
Thank you, Master. To me, the difference between blind faith and pure faith is very simple. Blind faith is when you have no eyes and you can't see anything. Pure faith, you can or cannot see. You just have faith.
He's playing with words again. Good Lord. How pale-faced people are so shallow. Yes, anyone else? Yes, Wei Mountain, question.
Master, with that being said, I just wonder why in this passage of Avatamsaka Sutra, the Buddhas also mentioned the word pure faith instead of only faith. If there's no difference, why there is a pure in front of the faith?
That's not complicate matters, man. I'm still grappling with two questions. I don't have answers yet. Anyone else? My point here, does it matter? If you tell me I have pure faith, or if you tell me I have blind faith, does it matter? Not to her. You see, if Master is stupid, it doesn't matter. Not to her. How about you? Does it matter to you? Yes, yes, 7.
I don't think there's nothing we need to pay attention on what is blind faith or pure faith. There's nothing real in this world. We're talking about empty. The world is empty. Nothing
so
is
Chinese. Real. God, you go back to empty. It doesn't matter. You have blind faith to empty or pure faith in empty. It's the same thing.
Well,
you're right.
Yeah. Why we need to pay attention on this? What is blind and pure? Just do nothing is real. I mean, we just do whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all.
So
Chinese.
Be simple.
We can't live with that. We are Americans here. Too philosophical. You're right, but I cannot let you get away with it. Very good. Anyone else? What is the difference? Does it really matter? Yes, 6.
Yeah, but I think it does matter because while we're still learning and growing and understanding emptiness or reaching the level where we can penetrate emptiness, I think it's important to know or to be able to discern what's blind and what's pure, because blind faith usually comes with a negative connotation. So
you are a teacher, that's why you talk like that. You are coming from teacher's perspective. Very good. You have responsibilities. Yes, I understand you. Yes, 2.
So going back to what Chengdu's comment earlier, I think he has a great point. When you talk about pure faith or blind faith, for others, there's a judgment in it, and that's not necessary.
Very good. Whose judgment?
And when you look at yourself,
whose judgment? That relates back to the Chinese concept. It's empty
others.
Anyway. It doesn't matter.
Judge others.
Whatever you want to judge me, judge me.
Yeah.
Yes? Who cares?
And then when you think about for yourself, like what Tri was saying, it's also going back to one comment. It's about the gradation, degree of faith each one of us has, which is different depending on our level. So we have the just like because ultimately pure faith is no thinking, most of us cannot do that. So when we look at ourselves, this blind faith or pure faith, it also doesn't matter. It's just like a level of a step in the process.
I see. See, very good, very thorough discussion. Excellent. Comment from JC.
Oh, Master, I wanted to add this. When I first came back to Korea, a lot of Senims, when they visited JMT, they are very worried that I was I had blind faith to you.
No.
But I never thought that I had blind faith.
Let's revisit the story, okay? She was a very happy lay person. And then one day she says, I want to become a nun. I said, okay. And then we prepared to get her ordained. And then last minute I said, no, I'm not going to ordain you. I'm going to make you wait for 3 more months. Okay? All the guests were there, all her friends and relatives, whatever, who were supportive of her. I'm going to show up and support you, become shaving your head. And that day there, the night before, I said, no, I changed my mind. Let's continue. And then fast forward, and then after I shaved her head, I said, okay, now your head is shaved. 3 months later, I shaved her head. And then I said, I'm going to send you to Korea. No training, none whatsoever. Okay, so what do we call that? Blind faith or pure faith?
I 100%, I thought it was pure faith, but like all the Sunims who visited were very worried that I had.
You have blind faith. You see, the smart people would call your actions were based on blind faith, not pure faith. Right?
Right, but I never thought it was a blind faith, but they were very worried.
But you were worried too, weren't you? What's going to happen to your Porsche?
No, I wasn't worried.
She's not worried about Korea. She's more worried about the Porsche.
Because Master said, if Master tell me something and I follow, and then if it's not true, Master will owe me for the next life. So I think it's...
Oh, no. That's stupidity. That's a sales pitch. Not even blind faith now. It's stupidity. Oh, very good. Okay, yeah. There's really no distinction. The distinction is in the person who says, you have pure faith or blind faith. Okay? No difference at all. Because, let's face it, the reason that we Buddhists call it pure faith is because we have no doubts, right? We have no doubt whatsoever, no thoughts of doubt, not a single iota of doubt in our mind. Now, in the past, or in the future. So we work towards that pure faith, okay? And so this is what, for us, we call it pure faith, okay? But you could also call it blind faith. Does it matter to us? No, right? If you believe in the Buddha, and you believe in Buddha represents goodness, and Buddha tells you, it's a message from Buddha tells you, and the Buddha appears in front of you and says, go rob a bank. And you have pure faith, what do? You go rob a bank. And some other might look outside, from the outside, look at, hey, you have blind faith. It's not pure faith, you have blind faith. So what? To us, it's still the same, right? We have it. We call it faith. The pure faith here refers to the fact that the people who have this kind of faith has not a single thought of doubt. That's the definition I give for you for your reference. That's all. So your level of purity is proportional to how many thoughts of doubt you have. Okay? Now you don't have totally pure faith yet, but you have like maybe 67%. It's still faith. It's 67% pure. The Buddhist here doesn't say that it has to be 100% pure. Is that clear? You're assuming 100%. No. I believe it's pure for 80% of the time. It's darn good. Let's face it. Yes? The Buddha will settle for it. When we talk about blind, it's judgmental. For me, once I have pure faith, or I have faith, I don't care if it's blind or pure. All I know is I have faith in my teacher, someone called Master YongHua, okay? That I met in the flesh, who taught me. And I said, I have blind faith in him. Because you know why? Because a lot of things he did, I did not witness in person, but what I heard from his disciples relating how he behaved, I said, really? That's a sage behaving like that? And I said, and for a very strange reason, I admit to you, I heard all these conflicting stories, like he's a great person, a great bodhisattva, and sometimes he did things that I couldn't understand at all, that contradicted my logic, my understanding. Okay? But guess what? Not a single moment did I ever have one thought of doubt at all. So you could call it blind faith. For me personally, yes, I had blind faith in him. That's my personal experience. I have blind faith in him for some reason, which I cannot explain. And because I could not justify some of the actions from the stories related to me by his disciples, okay? What I do, instead of worrying about that, I focus on the Dharma he taught. Because my mind started debating, is that really? That doesn't make sense to me. If you stay there, you start having doubts. So what did I do? I moved to cultivating the Dharma instead of trying to understand. So to me personally, blind and pure is the same thing. It doesn't matter. You want to think of me as a blind follower? Okay. You think of me as a pure believer? Okay. Whoop-de-doo. Does it matter? Whatever I do, you will judge it anyway. Whether you judge as pure, you judge as blind, it's you. Does it matter to me? No, doesn't matter. You get my point? You don't need to worry about all the people judging you. Whether people think your faith is pure or your people think your faith is blind. It doesn't matter to me personally. Doesn't mean I'm not advocating I should have blind faith. I'm just saying, I'm just relating to you my personal experience. To me personally, it doesn't matter at all. But of course, for more normal people, yes, it's important not to have blind faith because blind faith is stupidity. What's implied in blind faith is that you're stupid in spite of the facts. Okay? Proving that your faith is unfounded. You still believe, so you have blind faith. So therefore, I feel you're stupid. That's the connotation when people use the word blind faith. I'm judging you. I'm judging them. Agree? So it depends on where you're coming from. For me personally, from my own perspective, I don't care what you think of me, blind or pure. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, it's only words. Okay? But coming from you, you can judge as you please. You can judge me as pure, you can make me as blind. It's your choice. So the answer, short answer, it depends who you are. It's for me, I don't care. For you, maybe you should care. Does it help? Or am I complicating matters? Are we okay, or we still need to discuss this? Good discussion, by the way, very profound discussion. Beautiful angle you're all coming from. Very rich. Excellent. Okay? How do we get here? Where are we? Okay. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I really respond to your words, and I really appreciate Chui's perspective. I think she's really onto something. For myself, faith can be very scary, and I can empathize with others not wanting to have the wrong kind of faith or being perceived to have the wrong kind of faith. And I think where your ego is at has a lot to do with it. That's what I'm hearing you say. Because if my ego's okay with people perceiving me to have blind faith or pure faith, cool. But I think that's the crux of the question. It's what's the right kind of faith to have?
All right. What's the right kind of faith to have? So you want me to answer that too?
I feel like you did.
I did.
I feel like you did answer that question for me. The answer is the kind that's right for you, and whether you're worried about someone thinking you have blind faith or not, if it matters to you, have pure faith and clarify. If it doesn't matter to you, have blind faith and don't give a hoot what people think.
Yeah. Especially if they have no wisdom.
That's the hard part, right? That's the scary part.
Why do you think I tell you which level you are? Anyway, okay, very good. Continuing, and so there thus come ones, all Buddhas, cultivated merits and virtues endlessly. That's why they're replete with all sorts of merit and virtues. Okay? So we talked about, so meritorious, do meritorious deed is to benefit others. Yes? And virtues is, what is virtues? What? Inner virtue cannot be observed. Yes? And my question is, can we have a non-Chinese perspective? Okay? Virtues, let me translate it for you from a Chinese perspective. Virtues is to take losses willingly. Whether people, is inner, outer, doesn't matter. Chinese, I think, is too limited to say the virtue is inner virtue. No. Virtue, to me, is to deliberately take losses. Agree or disagree? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to answer the question before saying that Master give the answer is take a loss and sacrifice.
Okay, very good. That's right. Yes. So virtues, to me, simply put, is to deliberately take losses. Not about just taking losses. You choose to take losses. Instead of taking gains, you take losses. That's virtues. If you have to choose between two choices, you take the choices that you end up losing more. Okay? Since when does it have to be inner or outer? If according to a Chinese definition, then virtue something cannot be observed, I feel virtues can be observed. I see a person walking and say, oh, that's a virtuous person right there. How can you say it's inner? I disagree respectfully with the Chinese definition, Chinese perspective. Questions or comments? Okay, continue. Let's continue. We talked about merit and virtues, okay? And next they say, they transform the realms of sense and beings in incredible ways. It's related because they have merit and virtues. That's why they transform the realms of living beings in inconceivable ways. What does it mean? 2.
Sorry, Master, I was backtracking. I just wonder if you can give explanation of merits also for the sickness of completeness.
Merit to me, okay, I didn't want to contradict the Chinese too often, because I'm Chinese deep down, okay? I am. Never mind. Merit to me is to strive to benefit others. Whether it can be observed or not, I can't care less. Before it can be observed, it's meritorious already, I feel. Yes, 3.
Master, is merit a result of virtue?
Merit is also virtue? Not necessarily. You can separate them. You can say, I want to create merit. I just want to help others. It's not about me taking losses. It's my will, my wish, my deep desire is to benefit others. Okay? Meaning that, for example, okay, I steal from Peter to benefit Paul. That's meritorious. I'm not losing anything. See, oh, $5 bill, oh, great. Donation box. Hint, hint. Got that? Huh? That's meritorious because I want to benefit. It's not about taking losses anymore. I just want to benefit the world. I want to benefit others. It's from your heart. It has no value No valuation, no judgment. I just want to help you. That's it. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Sorry if you've already covered this, but why choose to take a loss over the alternative?
Gain?
Yeah. Or like why consciously choose that?
So that you become poorer. Isn't that obvious?
Yeah.
When you take a loss, you become poorer. That's the only logical explanation. Why do you want to become poorer? Because you're stupid. Okay? You still have questions? Anyone can help her out? Why would you want to choose to take losses? Why? Answer yourself.
Is it for karma, to get rid of your bad karma?
So you choose to get gains? So you're calculating. You say, oh, I'm doing this because I'm gaining. You're so petty.
Yeah.
Good Lord. You're not Buddhist, clearly. Just kidding. Why? Why would you choose to take a loss? Yes, go for us. God, you guys question everything I say, don't you? You say, can we stick to the Chinese version where, merit, you can observe it, and virtue, you cannot observe it. It's inequality. I grew up on that, That's how I started. I said, like my teacher said, merit is observable. Go build a bridge. That's meritorious. Virtue is that you cannot see it, so don't build a bridge. Yes, go for us.
Hello, Master. So we choose to take a loss because actually we don't see that we're taking loss, because all we see is gaining. Like when other get benefit is a gain.
Oh my God, this woman is so Vietnamese. She says, I'm taking a loss. Actually, I'm gaining. I'm making big gains. I'm smart, man. Don't think I'm stupid. Good Lord. Too smart for your own good. Is that virtuous? He said, I'm taking a loss. Actually, I'm having big gains here. Can you call it virtue?
No, what I mean is that we don't take gain, but the gain of the big picture. So there's no definition of loss, taking loss.
Too late. Yes, anyone. Too late to justify yourself. My God. Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. A simple example I can think of is we take a loss to benefit our family.
Take a loss to benefit our family. Another petty person. Yeah. Yes, go for it. That's not virtue. Good Lord. That's it?
Oh, I mean, I could give an example, but...
Okay, go ahead. Example?
Okay, I have not ordered Domino's pizza, which has been at a tremendous loss to me, but my wife has benefited. She's much happier when I don't eat Domino's pizza.
So why do you choose to take a loss?
I choose to not eat Domino's pizza so that I have a happier marriage and my family benefits.
No, that's not virtuous. That's petty. Anyone else? Deceptively simple, and yet you still are not clear. Yes, too.
It reduces the ego and the attachment.
Reduces ego and the attachments. Yes, JMT.
나를 생각하지 않고 상대방을 생각하기 때문에 덕을 실행할 수 있다라고 생각합니다.
Master, I think that not thinking about myself, only think about others. That's how you show the virtuous act.
Very, very close. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, the one.
Take loss, just letting go.
Let it go. Okay? Very good. Just let go, right? I'm willing to let go. Yes. Okay, anyone else? Why do you have to take a loss? Yes, 3.
Because I think our ego always want to take gains, and it's actually the source of the pain, source of the suffering.
So many excuses. Yes, very good. Anyone else? Why do you choose to take a loss? She has asked a good question, non-Buddhist question. God, it takes a non-Buddhist person to dare ask us that kind of question. Why do you Buddhists choose to take a loss? It doesn't make sense to us. Yeah? Anyone else? Why do you choose to take a loss? Because we're poorer, so that we become poorer, so that we can let go, because we can have more blessings, all those reasons, yes? They all, somehow make sense, yes? But ultimately, why? I don't have any money on me. Can someone borrow me $500? Lend me $500? No? No one has money today? How about car keys? Huh? Why? Why do we choose to take losses? Because of what we just discussed. Huh? Of what? What did we just discuss for about almost an hour? Blind faith. We choose to take losses because we believe so. Because our good known advisors told us to. We don't understand. But because our teacher says, you should take more losses. I say, okay, I don't like it, but I'm going to take more losses. And that's the difference between us and them. Our good known advisors counsels us how to rise above our mediocrity, our confusion. So they told us to do certain things that don't necessarily make sense to us. But if you do them, then it helps us get out of this fog that we have today in San Francisco. Contrary to yesterday, it was sunny days, sunny weather. Today is very foggy because therefore we can't see clearly. And what do? See, we can't see clearly, we follow the advices or the instructions of someone else who can see more clearly than we do. That's why. That's the only justifiable reason for me personally. I can't see, but he can. They can. Therefore, that's a Buddhist teaching. You should accrue more and more virtues, which translates into you should take more and more losses. That's all. And that's good enough for us. Now it sounds like blind faith, doesn't it? It's no difference, you see? No difference at all. To me personally, it's no difference. You see? As someone said earlier, it's the same thing, but the difference is that, it's someone who has wisdom and they give you the instruction versus someone who has no wisdom and give you the wrong instruction. It's still the same thing, ultimately. To me, I'm just lucked out. I found someone who has more wisdom. They didn't. They found someone else who had no wisdom, therefore they got in trouble. Did we beat this merit and virtue to death? We still want to discuss this further. Good discussion, very good. You see, I feel that the Chinese explanation from my Chinese teacher, it's not quite there yet. Okay, not for you. All right, and so what happened here is the two verses here are together. They are replete with merit and virtues, and because of that, they transform the realms of sentient beings in inconceivable ways. What are you talking about? Don't try to answer that. Let me try to help you because I don't have a lot of time. Okay? People will complain. Master, all Master does is sit there and then ask questions and everyone goes, in all the 10 directions and for an hour or so and we learn nothing. No, I'm impressed by the depth of your answers. It's very, very healthy. Okay? How they transform. The point here, I don't think it's that they notice is that your merit and virtue have transformative powers in the world. That's I want to stress for you today. That's very important for me. I was there, I got up early for lunch, went back there, rushed back there, brushed my teeth and said, what am I going to talk about today? So I leafed through, I paged through these slides, okay, and I said, I looked at this and said, how am I going to make the connection between virtue, merit and virtue versus transforming the realms of living beings? They have transformative powers, people. When you do merit and virtue, acts of merit and virtue, they are transformative to others. You agree or disagree? It's beautiful teaching. Bellissimo, bellissimo. You know that? It's fantastic. Let's not look very far. Look at your own families. Your kids growing up watching how you parents made sacrifices and create merit and virtue for them. Guess what happens? They transform into mini yous and mini me's. Mini me's. Or is it mini yous? I get confused. You get the point? It's about doing merit and virtues, not about you. And that's how you transform the world. your family, your schools, your hospitals. People are constantly looking, how am I going to improve things? By creating merit and virtue. They're transforming your world, your household, your office, your state. Instead of worrying about re-elections, instead of worrying about recognition, instead of worrying about fame, write a song out of merit and virtue, not because you're seeking fame. You are taught for going to school how to benefit yourself, your small self. What we're teaching you is benefit the big self, which requires you to make small sacrifices of the ego. That's how you transform the world. We don't understand. When you were to use the word incredible ways or in inconceivable ways, it's not something we can understand. And that's why I felt compelled to explain to you why. Okay? It's not about Buddhas. It's about us. They've been doing it like us. And eventually, they are replete with merit and virtues. We can start right now. Don't just say it's only for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It's us. They're talking about us. About you. Don't be so petty. All you think about me, 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 me. Recognize me, like me. That's why you can't transform anyone. You love your family. And do more merit and virtue. Can I share you a personal story? Or is it you don't want to hear? That's enough today, right? I mean, I had lunch with a friend of mine, high school friend. And he talked on and on about, I don't get along with my sister, I don't get along with my brother, I don't get along with my wife, and so forth. And my wife just bought a Tesla. I said, why? I was listening and said, why? Why Tesla? But never mind, it's a personal thing. My beef with Mr. Musk. Anyway, and on. And then he says, I'm worried that the tax law is going to change soon in California. Therefore, if they cut back from the inheritance taxes, reduce the exemption from 12 million to lower, we're going to be in trouble. It's not good for my kids. Now, I'm close. I'm 10 million. I don't want to miss the 12 million, mark. I said, gee, I didn't realize you were that rich. I should have brought you to a more fancy restaurant. Hi, honey. And Maria. Okay, Maria. So childish. And so he's about, I want to benefit my children. I said, Jesus, is that how you're going to benefit your family? Give them money? And then they waste it on themselves. It's a vicious cycles. You know, Bodhisattva tells us what? Perform meritorious and virtuous deeds. That's how you help. Questions or comments? Next. 234. Reflection upon this brings exultant joy, thus proclaims joy in Dharma.
于彼思维生庆悦，如是乐法能开眼。
Commentary? Oh, thank you. Give us time. We'll get the hang of it. Okay, so this Le Fa, celestial king, the joy in the Dharma, celestial king, can explain this. He excels at elaborating on this, and then lecture on this. So he's very good. He explained it very eloquently, and he likes to do that because he used to meditate on the merit and virtues and how Buddhas create merit and virtues, and that meditation practice gave him tremendous joy, incomparable joy. All right? 236. Sentient beings are drowning in an ocean of affliction. The delusion and turbid views are alarming indeed.
众生莫在烦恼海，愚痴见着甚可怖。
Okay. Commentary. So the affliction are like an ocean. We have oceans and oceans of afflictions that we're drowning in. Agree or disagree? And it's because they are created, these oceans of afflictions are created by our 愚痴, stupidity, 见着, and turbid views. And we should be afraid of our delusions, our stupidity, and our turbid views. That's the point. Meaning that if you are confused, stupid, and have no wisdom, then you are creating a lot of affliction and you're drowning yourself in your own oceans of afflictions. Only the Buddhist teachers are that brutal, and don't praise you as special, and you deserve success, and you deserve to be happy, and so forth. We're telling you the truth. You're confused, and you're drowning in your own oceans of affliction, and you created yourself, no one else's. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. I'm seeing the term turbid views being mentioned here. I did a science project in elementary school about turbidity. I want to see if it's the same word. We would measure the turbidity of water by dropping a disc on a string into the creek. And however far down it took to stop seeing the disc, that's the level of the turbidity of the water. So if you could see all the way to the bottom, it wasn't turbid at all. If you could only see like a few inches from the top, it was very turbid water. Is that the same word?
Turbid views meaning that turbid is exactly the same thing, the same meaning. Turbid is you cannot see clearly. It's very muddy, very cloudy. So it prevents you from being able to see clearly. That's the nature of our eyes. Our eyes prevent us from seeing clearly. Oops, I went to a new angle. Okay? Yeah. Turbid views. The views that create chaos. The views that you have, your views, your beliefs, your prejudices are creating confusion, are creating chaos because of your false beliefs, of your erroneous beliefs, of your confused understandings. Yeah? Go on.
To me, that shows an absolute advantage of blind faith. You avoid turbidity.
That's right. You can't see anyway, so it doesn't matter you can think or not. And so, from a Buddhist dictionary, in the Dharma ending era, meaning now, where we are, our time is called Dharma ending era or ending age. Living beings attached to evil views and create chaos in the world. Okay? Meaning that some of these spiritual teachers, it's really the fault of these spiritual teachers. They have a little bit of understanding. They have a partial view. They see a little bit clearer than us. Okay? And therefore they impress us. Okay? Very much like this morning, and if you missed the talk this morning, as I saw that this acupuncturist has a better vision of the illnesses. One of my students, my sanghas. I said, so yes, but the view is still turbid because it's not the full picture. And that's dangerous when you follow the recommendations of someone who does not see the big picture, who have no wisdom. Okay, and that's a nature to turbid views. So typically in the world, okay, there are plenty of teachers, Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike, who have turbid views. They don't understand yet. What are those teachers? I can name many for you. First stage arhats, turbid views. Second stage arhat, turbid views. Fourth stage arhat, confused views sometimes. Okay? Not to mention the people below their levels. They have turbid views. And that's why the world is becoming more and more chaotic. It's no surprise. It's just the way it is. Okay? And more specifically, in the spiritual world, and the Buddhists as well documented, they have these externalist teachers who believe in, for example, in nihilism. It says after you die, everything returns to dust anyway, so it doesn't matter. Some other teacher, that's a nihilism, and the other one is permanence. The other extreme is that you are a human being, therefore forever you will always remain human beings. That's permanence. So these two extremes are countless views of spiritual teachers in between. Okay? That's the coarse ones. In Buddhism, you have no wisdom. We're even more precise. We not say, never mind about the permanence and nihilism and so forth. It doesn't matter. It's too coarse for us. For Buddhism, if you rise above all those non-Buddhist false prophecies, false views. For the Buddhists, there's much more subtle confusion that you don't realize. Okay? And that's why you have no wisdom. That will prevent you from having wisdom. So what are the views? You would like to know? I mean, the Chinese can read it. Okay? Would you like to translate a Chinese version? Huh? In Buddhism, we're very precise. It says, watch out, guys. These are the proofs that you have no wisdom and you're creating chaos in your worlds. What are the views? You believe that there is a body. I took a walk recently, 1 block. I saw 3 barbershops. It's hair. This is why we chop our hairs. Okay? View a body. That's confusion. Never mind, you disassociate yourself from all these coarse, lower level views that causes a lot of problems for the world. Okay? If it's still not enough for you to unfold your wisdom, to open your wisdom, you have to face these subtle things that are very dangerous, that will prevent you from opening your wisdom. This is secret recipes, secret insights from the sages. Unless you're a sage, you won't be able to know what this is. So you have these insights that if you believe and attach to your bodies, you never have wisdom. Never. Shave your heads. No? Okay, never mind. Okay. You're not seeking wisdom. We're seeking wisdom. We're different. Okay? What another thing that tells you? 边见, meaning that the extreme, nihilism or permanence. That's wrong. Okay? That's very stupid. 邪见 is deviant view, meaning that it doesn't matter. If I steal, I will suffer no consequences. If I kill, I suffer no consequences because it's no cause and effect. It doesn't matter. Okay? Steal, kill, get away with it. It doesn't matter. And that's deviant thinking. You get into big trouble. Big trouble. Okay? Number 3, number 4, 见取见. There's a little bit more subtle. 见取见 is that they believe the wrong consequence, the wrong effects. They think that what happened is the non-Buddhist teachers, they opened their heavenly eye, they saw a dog, okay, dying and being born into the heavens. And they said, wow, dogs, after they die, they will be born in the heavens. See, they only saw this short of a time interval. So they said, wow, did you guys realize that? Dogs, when they die, I saw a dog becoming a goddess. So they said, that's all learn how to live like a dog. Because we're going to be born to the heavens. What they saw is confirmed by their own spiritual eye, heavenly eye. You see that? That's very severe delusions. Too short of a time interval. Okay? And the other one, the 5th one, is prohibitive precepts, meaning that they they practice austerity and purity. They are excessive. They are non-conducive to opening your wisdom. Again, Buddha's wisdom is that it's a middle way where you practice austerity up to a certain point. You go beyond that, it's non-productive, counterproductive. That's wisdom. Okay? Because this is 5 views. Okay? If you have any of these 5 views, you will not open your wisdom. Buddhist insider information. Questions or comments? Oh. And can I finish this today? Because otherwise we can go to the next group next time. Otherwise I have to go back to this section. Okay, because they're all connected, all 4 verses. Out of sympathy, the great teacher helps them leave all that forever. King Transformation Banner observes this state.
大师哀悯令永离，此话传往所观境。
240. So this King Transformation Banner here, he transformed a lot of living beings. He understands. He saw transformations of the worlds and so forth, and so he can observe how the great teacher helps living beings, confused living being, escape from all that. Okay, and that's concludes today's. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. I just wanted to clarify on views. 1 was about the body. Number 2, you said cause and effect, and then you jumped to 4. I wasn't sure what number 3 was.
What?
On the number of views, number 1 was about the body. Number 2 was about cause and effect, and then you jumped to number 4, which was believe in wrong effects, and I wasn't sure what number 3 was.
Number 3 is deviant views. Number 2 is extreme views.
Oh, thank you.
Permanence and nihilism. Okay? All right. God, he was listening? Seriously? After all these years, you still listen? Okay, so in closing, I saw these 4 verses here, and it really touched my heart because it's very personal to me. Before I met Buddhism, half of my life was mired with afflictions and unhappiness, miserable. And I didn't know how to escape it. It's just something that you live, and that's how it is. That's all you know. And one day I met Master YongHua's Dharma and had the luck to have the need to practice meditation. And through that, I was able to understand this. So I want to relate with you the fact that after all these years, I'm very grateful about the fact that these sages come to our world and share their insights with us, without which we will not be able to know better, because our parents don't. Our parents are so confused. Our teachers at schools and universities are so confused themselves. Okay? And that's why I'm personally very grateful for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in particular my teacher, Master YongHua, for bringing these insights to the US. Okay? It's an incredible gift. and you know, and I'm so very happy that many of you are pitching in to share these insights, these tips, which is more like insider tips. When you want to make money on the stock market, the best way to make money very quickly is to find insider tips. Okay? Yeah. And these are insider tips from the people who went through it, who lived through it, and rose above our difficulties. Because Master YongHua too, when he first came, he was confused just like we. He encountered the Dharma, he practiced the Dharma, and he was able to leave all this confusion forever and share it with us, share that technology and those insights with us. It's a fantastic gift, folks. And we're spreading it, sharing it with more and more and more people. Okay? Thank you, everyone. See you next time.